Aaron Schimberg's A Different Man is a really tricky film to talk about. A work that, as silly as it sounds, almost defies the conventional way of discussing a movie. One, because it's so challenging to talk about a film that is constantly moving in different directions, reinventing itself at every turn. And two, this is a deeply discomfiting film that seeks to challenge our established ways of thinking, and really wants us to look inward, to contemplate our various preconceived notions about this delicate subject matter. It's a movie that dares to ask questions we are too scared to confront ourselves, either for a lack of self-awareness or because we simply skirt around it at all costs, that wants us to shine a light on the performative empathy which runs rampant within so many quote-unquote allies. This is not a movie that seeks to make you feel good about yourself, instead making you beg the questions, is pitying the disabled or disfigured really no different than gawking at them? What is the line between empathy and pity, and what role do I play in all of this? These are the hard-to-swallow moral dilemmas at the center of A Different Man, a movie that follows a man named Edward, a rather unsuccessful actor with neurofibromatosis. When we were first introduced to him, he is shooting an infomercial about how people with facial disfigurements are treated in the workplace. We see that, like most people with disfigurements in the real world, their roles in film and television are almost exclusively relegated to playing characters defined by their disfigurement. So right off the bat, we're introduced to the ways in which the film tackles representation in media, particularly about that well-trodden debate concerning the ethicality of using prosthetics for a professional actor, or hiring someone with the actual disfigurement or disability that may not be a trained performer. In a lesser film, it would give you an easily digestible solution to that debate. But Schimberg explores both sides of the argument here. You have a Hollywood actor in Sebastian Stan acting in full facial prosthetics, makeup work done by Michael Marino that is genuinely astonishing. Then you have Adam Pearson, an actor who actually has neurofibromatosis, and who you may recognize from Jonathan Glazer's Under the Skin. Sebastian Stan's Edward tries his damnedest to sequester himself from the cruelty of humanity. Obviously to no avail, as living in the Upper West Side of New York and being an actor doesn't allow for much anonymity. His neighbors are aghast by his appearance, he cannot trust a single soul, so in turn he isolates himself from relationships with people, and it's only until Ingrid, played by the wonderful Renate Reinsve, that moves into Edward's decrepit apartment building that Edward finally feels seen, and he's immediately attracted to her beauty and kindness. But he is still trepidatious that his appearance hinders any possible romantic relations with someone of Ingrid's beauty, and that's where a new experimental medical treatment comes into play, one that has the ability to cure his face, to remove the tumors he is covered in and unveil a classically handsome mug, the face of Sebastian Stan. Now he becomes a whole different man, dropping the Edward name and from that point forward going by the name Guy, reaping the benefits of looking like Sebastian Stan, sleeping with countless women, and finding himself in a stable, money-making job as a real estate agent. Everything Edward dreamed of finally coming to reality as this man named Guy, until he encounters Ingrid once again, who is now putting on a play titled Edward, about the man she once knew. Guy knows this was the role he was born to play, if only he still had his disfigurement. When a man named Oswald, someone with the same disfigurement as Edward, is cast as this previous version of him, Guy's life is thrown into disarray. Seeing someone so confident in their appearance and their abilities, someone that didn't buy into society's absurd beauty standards, reach the success he was always searching for. And this is just the long-winded conceit for a film that is so packed with ideas, with hard-hitting questions and mind-warping meta-tricks. A film about beauty and horror, about performance on stage and in real life, the blurred distinction between empathy and pity. These ideas form the very makeup of A Different Man, a film that shares a lot of its DNA with Aaron Schimberg's first feature, Chained for Life, which also stars Adam Pearson. I was really taken aback by just how similar the thematic material in both of these works is. Schimberg is just reconfiguring it in a far more ambitious, more assured manner for A Different Man, because this is such a bold amalgamation of body horror, pitch-black comedy, romance, sci-fi, of fluctuating influences the likes of Cronenberg, Kaurismäki, Kaufman, Lynch. It's equally hilarious, discomfiting, yet tasteful, a nearly impossible juggling act, but Schimberg pulls it off, keeping as many heavy ideas from collapsing under their own weight. But in the middle of Schimberg's messy, self-reflexive trickery, we also have the best performance of Sebastian Stan's career thus far, in a thorny role made up of two faces, the first being the quiet, reclusive Edward, and the second being the Patrick Bateman-ified real estate agent, Guy. It's riveting to watch Stan be free from the confines of the Marvel machine, now afforded the opportunities to tackle more layered roles, and he's making the most of it here. His performance is dark, deeply sad, without ever trying to do anything too showy and, in turn, filing down the film's satirical edge. Adam Pearson as Oswald plays Edward's foil, the confident, charming man he will never be. Renate Reinsve playing the worst person in the world yet again, a narcissist that is as beautiful as she is sneakily cruel. This trio of performers are in perfect rhythm with the film's unique cadence, intricate performances that would make or break a film like this, and they all nail it. Schimberg's film is always one step ahead of the reactionary conversations that will inevitably stem from some of the bold choices made and touchy questions raised. It's such a smart, singular film that A24 is unfortunately butchering the release of, something they seem to be doing quite a lot of recently. And that's a damn shame, because it's been a while since a film has gnawed at me this deeply, made me question what I thought I knew about myself and those around me. We're in a cinematic landscape of patting yourself on the back for casting those rarely seen on the big screen, that manipulate the disfigured, the disabled, the marginalized, purely in service of some self-congratulatory narrative. But that is not a different man. It wants you to think long and hard about questions not easily answered. And some might not have the willpower to sit through that, something that holds a mirror right up to you, unafraid to show the warts and all, the most detestable aspects of us. It will throw a lot at you, but if you just sit and let it pummel you with ideas, you'll be absolutely upended by some of the most thought-provoking filmmaking all year.